Today on the Topping Show, Matt Walsh continues to roast Joey Swoll's apology. A California professor wants to eliminate whiteness. Tulsi Gabbord tweet on Obama Russia Hoax goes viral on social media. Texas unveils a redistricting map that will possibly eliminate up to 5 Democrat seats in the proposal. The Ram TRX, the V8, is coming back. And GM issues a stop sales order for some other SUVs. All of that and much more on the Topping Show. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode of the Topping Show is proudly sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT, value-added reseller, and services company with a special proficiency IT security. Heck, I see their founder at least twice a day. Gotta say, he's quite handsome and brilliant. He's me. See, that's the joke. If you're an IT leader or a business owner, you can reach out to the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also, still giving away a free Flamethrower with every IT purchase with Picatinny rail adapter, so you can mount it to any standard AR-15, like all awesome accessories can be. Go to toppingtechnologies.com and click the Flamethrower button to learn more and see me shooting a Flamethrower. And lastly, trying to get to 6,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button and tell your friends, I would greatly appreciate it. Now, going over to the business part podcast, yes, some good news for Stellantis. They're bringing back their good old V8 Hellcat off-road machine known as a TRX. Now, this is brought to us thanks to Eric Stratford at caranddriver.com. And they say, quote, well, the tech would work today. That would be ideal. Apologies about that. But can never be too upset, because if technology worked perfectly all the time, I wouldn't have a tech job. Well, wouldn't have a job. Now, again, this is, again, credited to Eric Stratford at Car and Driver. They say, quote, Stellantis CEO confirms the V8 Hellcat-powered Ram TRX will return. As Ram's Alpha pickup truck prepares to make a comeback, one question remains, how much horsepower will she have? How many ponies will they cram under that hood? Good old Ram off-road machine, America. With a Hemi, as they should always have been from the beginning. Which, the fact that they made a Ram pickup truck with a straight 6 is one of the dumbest things, and obviously it's why their sales tanked completely. And yeah, thankfully, Stellantis' new CEO realized, oh yeah, we need to bring back the old Dodge CEO, have him fix that company, since again, of this, 17 brands that Stellantis owns in the automotive community, yeah, Ram is the most important one, because, spoiler alert, trucks are very, very profitable, and sometimes reliable. Well, as long as it's not made by Ford. But nevertheless, going to the specifics of the article, they say, quote, almost as soon as it was announced that the Ram 1500 TRX would be discontinued after the 2024 model year, rumors started circulating about the high-performance pickup truck's eventual return. While things looked a little dicey when Ram stopped offering the beloved Hemi V8 in half-ton trucks, the TRX's revival got an adrenaline shot to the heart earlier this year when we learned that the 8-cylinder engines were making a comeback. And now, Stellantis CEO Antonio Filosa has confirmed that the Ram TRX will rise from the dead. During the earnings call, Filosa said, quote, the V8 engine on versions such as the Ram 1500 TRX will deliver us tremendous additional volumes, unquote, which he's not just talking about how loud and obnoxious things are, which I love how dumb and loud Dodge vehicles are, like the Charger, the Challenger. You can't beat those things, the V8 and a stick shift, obviously. But it's an instance where, yeah, in terms of the volumes, yeah, that's going to help you push units. And again, great thing about the beauty of mass buying, just like when you go to Costco, the more V8s they can make, the lower the price per unit is to cost manufacturer, which again is why you should love deregulation and the fact that we're going to have some more V8s coming back to America. I believe Confucius did say this. There is no replacement for displacement, but I partially digress. They continue saying, quote, perhaps the new CEO forgot that an official announcement for the TRX return hadn't yet been made, or perhaps he simply knew that the Hellcat-powered truck's resurrection was one of the worst-kept secrets from the business. Or let's be honest, he just wanted to get some more hype during the earnings call. Again, some of that is just good marketing, leaving little hints of stuff that's going to happen, which, of course, everyone picks up on. I would argue that's almost as good as paying for advertisements on TV, because they get this press for free, which is an infinite better ROI. Now, they know that Dodge Car and Driver reached out to Ram spokesman for a comment on what Filosa said, and the rep told us that the CEO comments stand. While Filosa didn't say anything about a timeline for when the TRX would be revealed or when it would go in production, it's been rumored that it will join the Ram 1500 lineup for the 2026 model year, aka, going to hit store shelves this year, or dealer lots. They're a little bit too big for shelves. Now, they say, quote, as for the details of the powertrain, the new TRX will have a version of the iron-blocked supercharged 6.2-liter V8, which last made 702 horsepower and 650 foot-pound of torque. Of course, the former figure will most likely be higher. Currently, the Ford, or as I hear it in my head, the Ford F-150 Raptor R features a 720 horsepower supercharged 5.2-liter V8. We'd wager that the 2026 Ram TRX will exceed that output even if it's only by a horsey or two. And let's not forget the Hellcat Red Eye, which would summon over 800 ponies, which would be epic. And again, it's great for manufacturing. Employees are going to be happy because this thing's going to be a lot more profitable than the basic truck. Consumers are going to get a fun off-road machine, though let's be honest, most of them will be pavement queens. Again, this is great. And there's something about a truck having a V8 that just feels right. Also, I mean, I'm not a fan of having little itsy-bitsy engines in a truck having to work a lot harder as opposed to a big engine that doesn't have to work as hard, just conceptually speaking. Now, if only they would do a thing for guys like me and give it a third pedal, also known as a manual transmission, also known as the most fun way to drive. To Ram's credit, they were the last major manufacturer to make a light-duty truck, or, a 1500 truck with a stick shift. Toyota does offer the only stick shift truck in North America, the Tacoma, which, yeah, it's pretty cool. It even comes in green, but it's a little light-duty for a lot of, you won't really cut it for major hauling, so to say. So, fortunately, you gotta get a vintage Ram with a stick shift if you want one of those, and they're pretty penny to say the least. But some good news in the automotive community, and let me know your thoughts, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. I'm going over to the cultural part podcast, and Matt Walsh continuing to roast Joey Swoll's apology after Joey famously dressed up as Hulk Hogan, and when Hulk Hogan passed away, well, he posted that on social media and used a forbidden word, well, nowadays a forbidden word, colored people when referring to African Americans. Or he called them something else, but it wasn't the pejorative Voldemort term that you dare not say, of course. Now, Matt Walsh is responding to Joey Swoll. Now, Joey said, quotes, "All the good I've done, all the people I've helped, all for nothing. I truly hope that the people I've inspired to do great things in their life and pay it forward to help others and carry on my message. No matter how much good you do, people will just wait for a reason to hate you and tear you down." Now this is, let me stop that quote right there. It becomes even more cringeworthy as he quotes DC Comics, which, of all the comic books, those are like, the lamest. Now he says, quote, "You either die a hero or live long enough to be the villain." Batman. Cliche. And he says, "Thank you for your support. I'm done." And he continues to say, quote, "A lot of people are upset with me, calling me weak and a quitter or worse." Facts. "They're not wrong, and I deserve it, but just so we're clear, and we could walk a mile in my shoes." Let's be honest, I think he's a Crocs guy, but nevertheless, he says, quote, this is him acquiescing to the woke mob. "They sent me messages telling me they know where I live, and they're going to unalive me. That's fine, I can handle that, but it's not my first time. Then they went after my girlfriend, my business partner, and found my sister's number and They texted her. That made me furious and disgusted with people. I lost it. So yeah, maybe I'm done with social media, or I need to take a break and get my head right. But I will say there's so many incredible people being supportive and telling me how much I've helped them to be stronger, keep fighting. Thank you for everyone, even those who give me a kick in the ass for telling me to be weak and stop being a quitter. You need to hear it once in a while. I just need to breathe." So after he acquiesced to the woke mob, they continued to go after him, and now he's crying. Which, again, is reason number 9,758,531 to not apologize to the woke mob. Because, again, they're terrorists. Literally going after their family, not just insulting them. Which, again, yeah, you get thick skin when people insult you enough. Lord knows I have some negative comments in my videos where people referring to me. But, yeah, making threats to your family, yeah, that's what leftists do. And apologizing does not stop that. Now, Matt Walsh responded to this. Matt Walsh says, quote, "This episode is a perfect example of performative strength versus masculine strength. Joey is performatively strong. He spends 14 hours a day in the gym and looks like it, but he has no actual masculine strength. The moment he encountered pushback from a bunch of whiny leftists, he folded and apologized, and now he's running away and quitting while begging for pity. I don't care how much you can bench press. If this is how you carry yourself, you're weak," unquote. And again, Joey Swoll got about 26 million views, and Matt Walsh got 2.2 million views and 28,000 likes, which, yeah, pretty accurate assessment. Yeah, this guy, it's what happens every time with leftists. And don't get wrong, yeah, they do get violent. Ironically, the party of tolerance, or so they claim to be, yeah, they're the ones who usually get violent, cause a ruckus, kill unalive people, or whatever vernacular YouTube doesn't want to take down these days. Watch on Rumble. Yeah, the woke mob is real. And by apologizing, you pissed off literally everyone. Because name me one time in the past 10 plus years where someone has been quote unquote canceled and they apologize and get their job and they get their status back. Spoiler, yeah, it doesn't happen. Every single time. And yet they keep apologizing. The dumbest thing. There's literally no upside to it. He's literally pissed off everyone now. Everyone thinks he's weak now. Well, again, not physically. Again, he could probably bench press a small Mini Cooper or something to that effect. But spiritually, more, I mean, yeah, he just caved. And again, I think Matt Walsh hit the nail on the head this time. But let's go to the comments and see what they have to say about, David Santa Clara saying, quote, Hulkamaniacs never apologize, brother. Which, now that I think about what would Hulk Hogan say? Never apologize to the woke mob, brother. Just gotta eat those vitamins and keep praying. Probably said something to that effect. That got 1.1 thousand likes. You have Alex Grace, the Canadian conservative stuck in the Canadian hellhole. Poor son of a bitch. With America right there, just so close to freedom. Now he says, quote, Joey, you may have bodybuilder shoulders, but his spine's softer than a leftist feelings at the Daily Wire meetup, getting 2 likes. Only 2? And I give him 3 likes. I mean, by percentage-wise, that's an exponentially. That's a pretty darn high increase. Like 33%? Oh, yeah, I'm not mathing today. Mike, Market Traders TV, says, quote, he's also retarded for thinking he could say, I'm sorry to people that hate him, never apologize, getting 299. They get 301 likes. Again, if you wrong someone in life on an individual level, then yeah, behind closed doors, obviously you make amends, you apologize if you did something wrong. But when it's just when it's the mob, there's no upside. It's never worked, ever. Mike says, quote, he forgot the biggest rule when dealing with the woke mob, never apologize. They don't want an apology. They want to see you begging on your hands and knees while they destroy your life. Precisely. I got 1.3 thousand likes. Chipper says, quote, dang kid, kind of him, I can't pronounce that. And again, when I first started the show, barely anyone tuned in. Well, maybe a family member or two. And I spoke faster than Ben Shapiro and more awkwardly than Joe Biden trying to climb upstairs. But as I slowly but surely gain more subscribers, I've been slightly better at speaking. Some might say still terrible, but I'd argue, technically, statistically speaking, the improvements, they've been made. Which fuels the theory, the more people that click that subscribe button, the better I'll get at speaking. And someday make it through an entire episode of speaking perfectly and articulately. So don't forget to tell your friends and tell your enemies. Your enemies might be so enamored and impressed with your choice of media, seeing the show, they might very well become your friends. Or they might hate me more than you, in which that actually might cause conflict. Maybe I shouldn't recommend that. But seriously, tell your friends about the show as well, and your enemies. Now, Rumble, which is not the actual channel Rumble, the individual user's name is Rumble, says, quote, I like Joey, but it's a case study in what not to do. The left will never accept your apology, and to everyone else, it makes you look weak, getting 69 likes. Yep. Fly Over Country says, quote, don't apologize to people who will use your apology as a weapon against you, and you don't apologize for dumb things that don't require an apology. Lost all respect I had for him. Precisely. Got 253 likes. You also have Dasoff saying, quote, while your point is fair, Joey genuinely seems to be one of the good guys out here on the internet. It's a shame that he's getting mocked from both sides because he happens to be in a retarded society. Getting 477 likes. Yeah, Maze saying he'll be back by the end of the week. Getting 209 likes. Yeah, probably. Scrolling down more and more. Not seeing too many people speak up for him. Andy just has a picture of Hulk Hogan and says, never apologize, brother. Eat your vitamins. Say your prayers. Good wise words to live by. So yeah, again, someone else who made the mistake of apologizing to the woke mob, and I don't think he's going to get his livelihood or his fan base anytime soon, as he's bifurcated the fans now to about 50% like him and 50% hate him. Yeah, well, maybe 45, 45, and then the rest just don't really care. But let me know your thoughts, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Other interesting cultural news, you have a California professor saying they want to, quote-unquote, eliminate whiteness. Now, this comes to us thanks to Libs of TikTok, which she says, quote, Jonathan Luke Wood, president of the taxpayer-funded Sacramento State, wants to eliminate whiteness. This person is in charge of your child's higher education. His reason number 9,758,435,007 to not send your child to a public institution because, well, it usually just makes them woke. Interestingly enough, your child might go in attractive, mentally and physically, and then they will have short purple or blue hair, a cowering, and gain a bunch of weight as well, and obviously have tattoos and hate you. So yeah, and then they also they'll also have a lifetime of student debt, and usually a BS degree, not a bachelor's in science, which might be worth something, but a bullshit degree like underwater lesbian basket weaving, also known as gender studies. There's a lot of those useless degrees that never yield a positive ROI. Now, without too much further ado, Let's see what he has to say here. Maybe he'll give a very articulate, well-reasoning as to, oh no, who are we kidding? It's just racist crap. But let's hear what he has to say.
I would not say they're influenced by white people, they're influenced by whiteness.
What does that mean?
Whiteness is an ideology, it's a culture, it's a value system. And what we need to do is we need to eliminate that value system.
You want to eliminate whiteness?
Whiteness, not white people, whiteness.
But how do you eliminate whiteness without eliminating white people?
Good question.
What I want to do is to create an environment that is more collective, that is more value driven, and I think that flies an absolute oppositeness with whiteness.
Are you saying that white people are evil?
No.
They're not evil?
Not at all.
But then if they're not evil, why would they treat another human being to a point that a man like you would want to eliminate whiteness?
Yeah.
We are all fallen people. I would not say.
Yeah, so he says, oh yeah, we don't want to get rid of white people, just everything about white people and their culture. You mean the European, you mean the founding fathers? What's wrong with white culture again? Fascinatingly enough, you're allowed to praise every other culture and have pride in everything else except that one. Interestingly, look on LinkedIn, even professionally, there's groups for everyone. I never attended, but I assume there's a Hispanics in cybersecurity I could probably join. I know for sure there's African American, and there's one that's also labeled blacks in cybersecurity, which I think the name is pejorative because they spell it BLK. They purposely misspelled the name, the word, which maybe it's good marketing because it got my attention, but also I've heard culturally speaking, some of them like to not spell things right because it's part of the culture, which I don't think it's accurate. I think spelling right is for everyone. Now, this has got about 67,000 views as well as 1.1 thousand likes. One of the first comments comes from someone who's especially handsome and brilliant, me, the Topping Show on X, in which I say, quote, more from the quote-unquote party of tolerance. Anyone else sick of this blatant anti-white racism? Got 2 likes. Paul Zupa also says, quote, aha, he got stumped by that last question, getting 16 likes. Zachary Hirion says, quote, they just hate white people. I wish they'd come out and say it, getting 25 likes. Well, obviously they do. He's like, oh yeah, we need to get rid of everything about white people we need to get rid of. They can stay though. It's like, what? Scrolling down more and more. The Volt has a picture of meme as some might call it. Doesn't sound as cool, but he has a meme of Al Sharpton and Oprah and says, racism. Some people make a lot of money on it. Oh yeah, they do. Getting 25 likes. It's only 26. Without made up racism, Al Sharpton, heaven forbid, he might actually have to get a job and contribute to society. And talk about the #1 race baiter out there, who's made so much money. And I think South Park, they perfectly summarized the whole shill that is Al Sharpton when they had Randy say the N-word on the Wheel of Fortune show, and he literally had to kiss Al Sharpton's ass, and that's how Al Sharpton gets money, by companies apologizing for things, and then he rakes in the cash. So much made-up racism. Again, that's also how most mainstream media makes their money as well. You also have Amelia Henderson says, quote, a taxpayer-funded university president preaching to eliminate whiteness. That's straight up racist indoctrination. Parents are funding this madness while these Marxists poison your minds, or your youth's minds with anti-American hate. Getting 44 likes. True. The conservative alternative says, quote, this is a kind of genocidal rhetoric that leads to a situation like South Africa where white people are literally being killed. He should be arrested for incitement to violence. This stuff has to stop. Getting 38 likes. I'm sure South Africa will be a great safe place to live someday soon. It's dark humor, but no, spoiler alert, has not been ever. Statistically speaking, probably not going to be, no, probably not. I don't think a lot of innovation, I don't think there's going to be, the next startup, Silicon Valley is going to be over there. Not going to have the iPhone 58 come out there. Might be assembled there, but yeah, even that I'm skeptical. You also have constitutionalists saying, quote, imagine if a white person said they wanted to eliminate blackness, getting 21 likes. Oh, I was going to say, I could predict exactly what would happen. They would lose their job, their family, their friends, all social standing. They'd be eliminated on every social media outlet. Their life would be viscerally destroyed in every sense of the word. They dared say that some parts of the culture aren't good. They say they want to eliminate it. Oh yeah, they'd be canceled. They'd lose everything. That got 21 likes. You also have American Cupcake. I can only assume it comes with a cool bald eagle, little plastic thing on top. I would think. American Cupcake says, quote, so you're telling me that this guy doesn't have whiteness in his ancestry? Getting 9 likes, which, yeah, that's a good point as well. I'm pretty sure he's mixed, like a lot of people are mixed these days. K-Taz simply says, what a moron, getting 2 likes. Redmond Tree says, we've all seen his value system and want no part of it, getting 9 likes. This is one of the most famous memes or memes going around this year, credited this time to The Vault. It's a picture of Martin Luther King Jr., and he looks like he's frustrated holding his hands, and says, when you realize your people were being judged by the context of their character all along, getting 7 likes, which, I mean, I don't think that was always the case. There was racism in the United States years ago. I just think in terms of modern, against, African Americans specifically, might be like 18 of those assholes left, because of people like actually racist against them. Like, the media is really hungry. There's not enough actually supply for the demands, so they make it up. But yeah, in terms of like actual these days, I always purport and I always believe that capitalism defeated racism decades ago. Again, the United States is a very capitalistic society for those of us who do work, and companies want to build the best companies. They'll accept every single resume on the planet. Not going to turn away a resume just because of someone's color of their skin. If you have the work ethic, you have the resume, you have the statistical, you have the track record, everyone's going to hire you because you can make the company money. But that's just my 3 cents. It used to be 2 cents, but 30-year hyperinflation gotta be 3 cents. But let me know your thoughts, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Going over to the political part podcast, you have Tulsi Gabbard tweet on Obama Russia hoax going viral on social media with new evidence. Now, this is credit to, of course, Tulsi Gabbard, whose ex-Twitter profile is DNIGABBARD, also known as DNI Tulsi Gabbard. And she says, quote, new evidence has emerged of the most egregious weaponized and politicization of intelligence in American history. For President real Donald Trump's directive, I have declassified the House Intel Oversight Majority Staff report that exposes how Obama administration manufactured the January 2017 intelligence community assessment that they knew was false, promoting the lie that Vladimir Putin and the Russian government helped President Trump win the 2016 election. In doing so, they compromised and In doing so, they conspired to subvert the will of the American people, working with their partners in the media to promote the lie in order to undermine the legitimacy of President Donald J. Trump, essentially enacting a year-long coup against him. Here are the top Obama Russia hoax lies debunked in today's release. Hold up here, which it's going to be summarized below, but yeah, it's a lot of decensored paperwork. Yep. And this one pretty valid. Got 6.9 million views and 87,000 likes. 87,000 likes. Now, Tulsi actually lists them out. I'm going to try to read them as coherently as possible today. Actually, I had a little power issue and the AC is starting to come back on, but not quick enough. But I partially digress. She says, quote, lie. Putin and the Russian government helped President Trump win the 2016 election. The truth. President Obama, former director of the CIA, John Brennan, and others fabricated the Russia hoax, suppressed intelligence showing Putin was preparing for the Clinton victory, manufactured findings from shady sources, disobeying IC standards, and knowingly lied to the American people. Another lie, the fabricated Steele dossier was not used as a source in the Obama administration's January 2017 Intelligence Committee assessment of the November 2016 election. Truth, not only did CIA Director Brennan, FBI Director Comey, DNI Clapper, and others include the Steele dossier in the 2017 ICA, they overruled senior intel officials who warned them it was fabricated and should not be used. Yeah. Another lie, the Obama administration, put up the graphics so you can see them as well. The lie, the Obama administration in 2017 ICA was an independent IC product produced with a political analyst. Truth, Obama ordered the intelligence community assessment they knew was false, promoting a contrived narrative with an intent of undermining the legitimacy and the power of the duly elected president of the United States, Donald Trump. She continues saying, quote, together, the Office of DNI records released, the Justice Department's June 2016 report, shown known as the Clinton Annex, released earlier this week, and the House Intel Oversight Report was released to confirm what many Americans have already known. The Russia hoax was a lie that was knowingly created by the Obama administration to undermine the legitimacy and power of the duly elected president of the United States, Donald Trump. In 1.3 thousand likes. Scroll down more and more. Yeah, and again, the sad part is I don't think most Americans will ever actually read this, and they'll never actually know. There's a lot of people who are plugged into the matrix, so to say. They'll just continue to watch CNN as well as, CNN, MSNBC, ABC, all the mainstream news, and they'll just continue to think this is true. One of the first comments comes to us thanks to Clandestine saying, quote, the American people just want justice for what was done. They not only attacked Donald Trump, they lied or sorry, they tried to undo the will of the people for their own agenda. Obama and the Democrats have zero interest in democracy. This is tyranny. Gained 3,000 likes. Yeah, that'd be nice, but in terms of, being held accountable, yeah, Democrats are they're like dodgeball champions. They're very good at dodging any accountability. Got their Eagleman even ask. He says, will Barack Obama be held accountable? Gained 1.6 thousand likes. No, probably not. Jay says, you're an American hero for doing this. May would cave out of fear. Thank you for exposing the most corrupt president in history, Barack Hussein Obama. We the people demand justice for the justice and accountability. Gained 1.1 thousand likes. Trump Tracker. Now, this is one of my favorite contrarian accounts. Life gets a little bit boring when you're in an echo chamber. So the Trump Tracker says, quote, Obama should sue all of you. Either bring it to court and prove it, or stop spreading the lies. Trump and Epstein were best friends, and we'll never forget about that. Get 887 likes and 201 comments, which again shows he is exceptionally talented at engagement baiting, so to say. And again, Trump, unlike the competition, unlike other politicians, never went to the island. And he also, as soon as the squirrely news about Epstein started to get out, he cut him out of the system. Responding to Trump Tracker, who again got 887 likes and 201 comments. The first one comes to us thanks to Kyle Harrison, saying, quote, on the contrary, it appears that Trump may have been the first person to report Epstein to the Florida police. Gain 43, make 44 likes. The Raider F-16 says he won't because that would trigger discovery on his personal communications. Surely y'all considered that. Gain 21 likes. Lee says, how many pictures of Trump wearing the dress did Epstein have hanging at his house? We know there was one of Clinton, but keep pushing the big lie. Gain 19 likes. Which, yeah, who has a picture of a man in a dress at their house? Someone's really messed up in the head, I'll tell you that much. Going back to the main comment section, E. Miles Strong says Obama belongs in prison, gained 470 likes. The Texas One says Obama's screwed and I'm here for it, gained 275 likes. And is he? Even with the evidence, I'm pretty sure he'll probably just hang out in Martha's Vineyard I suspect he was controlling Kamala Harris and Biden. I don't know what he's up to these days. Dr. Shari says, more upon more upon more upon more. In a picture of a skeleton, it says, or some meme. And the skeleton says, quote, the American people waiting for just one Democrat to be held accountable for literally anything. 241, so 242 likes. Scrolling down more and more. God of Country has a picture of Adam Schiff, says, new transcript shows that Schiff knew that there was no Russia collusion, but lied anyway. The man should be kicked out of Congress for lying to the American people. Who is with me? Getting 2.3 thousand likes. Matt Van Swoll says, quote, there are massive, massive crimes here. Why isn't anyone being arrested for this? We need justice. I don't care if Democrats or Republicans committed crimes. We want accountability. Justice or nothing changes. Getting 2.2 thousand likes. Yeah, Republicans, don't get me started. Republicans are very good at writing very angry worded letters and maybe pontificating something on Fox News. Again, I'm not saying they're all useless rhinos, but there are a lot of them. We also have the conservative alternative saying, quote, Tulsi put her life on the line for this country inside the military, and she's doing the same thing by taking down the deep state inside the government. One of Trump's best appointments, getting 1.3 thousand likes, and a picture of her as, was it Wonder Woman? Who, I did those at YouTube poll, asked who, or in terms of the gray hair in the middle, who pulled it off better, and yeah, Tulsi. Everyone voted for Tulsi. I think 3 people voted for me. And if I'm honest, one of those was myself. But yeah, some of the biggest breaking news. We'll see if, anyone's actually held accountable. Maybe I'm pretty black-pilled. I'm pretty skeptical, but let me know your thoughts, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Other interesting political news, Texas unveiling the redistrict maps, which will eliminate 5 Democrat seats. Now, this is brought to us thanks to End Wokeness. And he says, quote, Texas just unveiled the redistricted map. 5 Democrat seats eliminated. Hell yeah. And you can see all of Texas except the shitties are all dark red. And this got 683,000 views and 9.3 thousand likes, which redistricting, a lot of people say it's controversial. It's been done for decades. I'm not a fan of it, but again, if we're playing by the same rules, yeah, Republicans, absolutely. Yeah, I support them doing this. Democrats are doing it for decades, so is Republicans. So yeah, I actually don't see any issue with this. And spoiler alert, I'll also talk about other instances where Democrats have done it. Again, it's a weird thing about politics, especially compared to other countries in the world. But again, it's the rules of the game, so play by the rules. And maybe someday actually win. Republicans get some wins every once in a while, but they're extremely proficient at stealing victory from the jaws of defeat. Or whatever that saying is. It's getting back on soon. But nevertheless, we're in the comment section when the first one comes to us thanks to End Wokeness. And he says, quote, this is the official proposed map. It has not been voted on yet, getting 880 likes. Also have Gunther Eagleman says, quote, "This is beautiful," getting 147 likes, which, again, we'll see if they actually get it through. Dr. Shari says, quote, "Yes, because Democrats have completely gerrymandered California, Illinois, Oregon, and New York. And on top of that, they count election ballots after election day." In 16 likes. Well, they also, pulled in a bunch of illegals in those states. So they get unfairly more representatives and representative seats in the House of Representatives. Alzuba says, "Did Jasmine Crockett just lose her seat?" Getting 144 likes. No, not yet. Mag 1775 says, quote, "Yeah, now we need to deal with the Muslims who aren't here to assimilate. They are coming here to conquer. It's not about faith, it's about ideology. If you reject our laws, our culture, and our constitution, you've got no place in America," unquote. Getting 252 likes, which, yeah, their population is exploding, pun moderately intended, in major cities across the U.S. as Democrats import more and more of them. We also have Robin Valencia saying, quote, "Dear 8-pound, 6-ounce baby Jesus, let Jasmine Crockett lose her seat," getting 150 likes. We also have Mrs. B saying, quote, "Normal people living their lives. It's a white family having a picnic." A little racist. They're eating watermelon. I know it's a racist. Every white person eats watermelon. I know how it is. Kidding. Everyone loves watermelon. And then in the background, it's the Lord of the Rings. Wormwood, I believe. No, what's his name? Oh, it is. But it's that, and he has a nose ring like a liberal and the funny hair, getting 72 likes. Mrs. B also has all the Democrat heroes. You have Woman of the Year being Dylan Mulvaney. Hero is George Floyd, or Mr. Fentanyl King, who is famous for robbing a pregnant woman at gunpoint and having a lifetime of crime and drugs. You also have a gang member of Family Man, and Katy Perry is an astronaut, getting 49 likes. Pastor Ben says, quote, "You just prove yourself. You prove Confederate cracker literally not taking win." Wait, what? This vernacular is not grammatically correct, but I'm going to try to read it. Pastor Ben says, "Just proof you Confederate cracker literally cannot win on an even playing field. LL. But when has white supremacy ever actually been able to compete on an even playing field?" Against 65 likes. Literally every politician does redistricting. We'll talk about it later this week, but yeah, Democrats do it all over as well. I'm not a fan of it, but again, they both do it. This is literally Republicans maybe going to do something to actually win. Was he ratioed? No. Going down more and more? No, it actually wasn't. You also have Evil Texan says, "Yeah, but I've seen the Republicans here getting 34 likes." Yeah. There are rhinos even in Texas. Jenny Texas says, quote, "If you pay attention to Texas politics, you would realize our Republican state elected officials have empowered the Democrats, and they have almost all shifted all Texas taxpayers. Texans really need to participate in the primaries. Our state is getting unrecognizable." Give him 79 likes and agree. So again, we'll see if this actually passes and if it's actually effective. But let me know your thoughts, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Oh, good old technical difficulties. Now, going over to the business blunder of the day, you have GM issuing a stop sale for their SUVs. Now, this brought to us thanks to Eric Stratford at caranddriver.com, in which they say, quote, "GM issues stop sale for a handful of 2026 Chevy Traverse SUVs. The 2026 Buick Enclave and GMC Acadia are also part of this stop sale, which involves 92 vehicles due to an undisclosed quality issue, or let's be honest, lack thereof." There's a rumor that GM and Ford have quality assurance departments. I say a rumor because I'm pretty sure they don't exist given the high volume of stop sales and recalls, with Ford having over 90 recalls in 2025 thus far. With that rate, statistically speaking, if they keep that up, they're going to break 100, which is ridiculous. And here, I'm sorry, but on the screen you can see a GM vehicle, which these days, for the most part, never look good. Which, yeah. Now, they say that, quote, "A GM spokesman confirmed the stop sale order, which only involves 92 GM midsize SUVs, including 2026 Traverse, Chevy Traverse, GMC Acadia, and Buick Enclave. While they didn't provide details about the quality issue, they said it's expected to resolve shortly." They say, "We don't know the exact reason that General Motors has reportedly issued a stop sale order for some of its 3-row midsize SUVs. However, according to the report by GM Authority, there's a quality-related issue that's led the automaker to pause the sale of certain 2026 Chevy Traverse, Buick Enclave, and GMC Acadia models," which, we'll see them on screen here. I don't know who is in charge of their design department, but God, they're awful. Now, they say, quote, "While details are scarce, GMC claims that the stop sale notice were part of a dealer bulletin that was posted on July 7th. Until the disclosed quality issue is resolved, the vehicles cannot be delivered to customers, traded to other dealers, or used for demonstrations. All three GM models recently entered a new generation, which introduced new designs, powertrains, technology. The trio is also built alongside each other at the Lansing Delta Township plant in Michigan. Which, yeah. Again, I guess it got ahead of the situation. Thankfully, no one's passed away. No one's been hurt by this, so that's good that, they got ahead of the situation. But, yeah. Now, if you're a GM shareholder, I'm sure you're happy to know that there's, more and more cars on the lots that can't be sold or used in any way. So, gotta say, GM having yet another issue with your vehicles, gotta say, you're once again the business blunder of the day. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, try to get to 6,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so click that button. I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down in the comments. Great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone, everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.